This is our body weight strength class, so it's going to be muscle focused. But you know, our heart is a muscle too, so it might get up there at some point. I'm going to go ahead and mute people. Okay, so video on or off, up to you. Take water breaks whenever you like. Keep things low impact if you like. We're going to get started with our 30-minute class. I'm freezing. It's raining here today, and I'm just gonna keep my sweatshirt on until I feel like it. So go ahead and march it out with me. Oh, my camera being all weird today. Yeah, okay. My camera does weird stuff. I can never predict when it's going to zoom out or in. So we're marching and get the blood flowing. So we have a 30-minute class here, not much time to squeeze in a warm up and a cool down. So basically I'm going to talk to you while we're warming up. You can march at any pace you like. You can lift those knees as high as you like. And I encourage you to swing those arms just to get motion in your body. All right, we're going to get the blood flowing all around our whole body from head to our toes. And slowly increase our body temperature, slowly increase the heart rate. You are allowed to take the intensity up to any notch you would like. When we squat, when we lunge, you can go as deep as you like. If you don't want to lunge and you want to do more squats, you can do that. All right, lots of options. Let's reach those arms up and pull those knees up to the side. Open up those hips. Good. We don't need equipment. We're using our body weight, so you can see push-ups, squats, lunges, things like that. But I do recommend a mat, especially if you're going to put your... Hey, did everyone see that? Did everyone see my camera just zoom out? Or is it just me? What I can't predict about my laptop. Okay, so now I can move my mat forward. Now you can see me. Okay. Okay, so go ahead and kick your legs forward. And stretch those hamstrings. Don't kick it too high, unless you have very, very flexible hamstrings. Mine are still pretty tight, so I'm not going to kick too high. What was I talking about? Anyways, modification-wise, you can do any of the movements. I was talking about push-ups. When we do push-ups, you want your wrists or your knees on the mat. It's more comfortable that way. And while you don't need to wear shoes, if you don't want to, I personally like wearing shoes because it helps me with not sliding. It like grips the mat for me when I do planks and stuff. Okay, let's take our feet about shoulder distance apart and go into our squats. Reaching that tailbone back and down as we reach the arms forward for the counterbalance. I'm going to show you from the side. Keep that chest up. Knees will go forward a little bit, right? Those shins will go to a little slant, but it shouldn't shoot past the toes. Your heels should stay firmly on the ground. Good, keep going. So if you notice my knees are bending to about 90 degrees-ish. Nice, nice, nice. And again, you can always choose how low you want to go. You want to feel your muscles working. You don't want to feel pain in the knee joint. All right, a couple more, and then we're going to bring our feet hip distance apart for lunges. So in this parallel train tracks, we have one leg on either track. And we're going to bend down into our lunge. That's a vertical drop from the side. I'm going to show you that it's the back knee that bends down towards about ankle height to initiate that lunge. My front shin starts slanted, and then the knee moves over to being directly over the ankle. All right, so we really don't reach the knees too far towards the toes for these lunges. Let's do about 8 more. Feel a nice little hip flexor stretch there. Give me about 4 more. And we're going to switch sides. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're mirroring me or not. One of you do lunges in both directions. I know we're still doing the warm-up, but squats and lunges are actually also exercises. So you change up the intensity with your body weight by increasing time under tension, so different kind of loads So we're gonna play around with all that kind of fun stuff in this class. Give me 4 more. 3, 2, and we're going down into the plank. So for the plank, you can get on your elbows. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Reach the heels to the back of the room. My butt is a little high to start. I'm gonna sort of just ask myself, do I feel my abs? And if you do feel your abs here, then it's fine to stay here. But if you don't, then you wanna lower your hips until your butt is about shoulder height. And usually there, when you squeeze your abs, your butt and your quads, the front of your thighs, kind of just feel that support around the kneecaps. And then press into those forearms, engage those shoulders. That's how we do the plank, all right? It's a lot of muscles engaged here. Let's take 3 more breaths together. Inhale, exhale, inhale, breathing slowly and deeply, exhale, and last time, inhale, and exhale. All right, pretty warm? Let's take off our jackets. Okay, so first exercise, we're gonna go back into that lunge. So let me show you from the side. And it's gonna be a chop. Actually, let me go here. Because the chop is that you take like an axe that you're chopping, and you're gonna chop towards the front leg. Okay? And then you're gonna bring the leg back together. And it's the same leg. We're not gonna switch sides. So this is my left leg. If you're mirroring me to your right, I step back with my left leg, and I chop to my right. Reach, chop. So there is oblique movement going on here. A reverse lunge, step it back. So starting on the same side as the moving leg and chopping down towards the front leg. Good. You can try to rotate as much of the rib cage as you like, but your pelvis will pretty much stay square to the front. You can pretend like you're holding an axe, I guess, or you can just hold your own hand. Go at your own pace. I'm going to be doing about 16, but I realize that my pace might be a little faster, a little slower than you. So go until you feel a challenge. You're going to be feeling a challenge in that front leg. Give me 2 more. And now we switch. Other leg goes back. Chop. Getting some shoulder action too, right? You're reaching the arms up, diagonal chop down. You have to shift your weight to the front leg in order to stand up. So that's why the front leg is experiencing more work. Good, 8 more. And you can chop stationary lunges, down, up like this. I'm just adding a reverse lunge component. So a little more dynamic than what we did in the warm-up. Last 2. Last one. Okay, we're gonna do some push-ups. Push-up, you can do it on your knees or your toes, but we're gonna add a pulse to the bottom of the push-up. So I would say a typical push-up, you take your hands wide, wider than shoulders, you bend your elbows to about 90 degrees, and you come straight up. But here we're gonna add a pulse. So it's almost like your chest hits the bottom, does a little bounce, and then comes up. All right, down pulse and lift. Down pulse and lift. Little bounce and up. So knees or toes, your choice. Brace those abs, squeeze the butt. Try not to reach your head and neck forward. Try not to reach with your nose. All right, so each one of these is a lot. This is more than your usual one, I would say. So let's see if we can make it to 16. I think we have about 4 more. Down, pulse, down, up. Like you're doing 1.5 push-ups. 1.5. There's the half. 2 more. And last one. All right, your arms are tired. We are back to the legs. We're going to do the reverse chop again with a knee lift. So I'm actually going to start with my other side, so I'm not always favoring the same side to start with. So I'm gonna lunge up for the front leg, and then I'm gonna lift the rear leg that step back. Okay, a little balance. You can do what we did the first time, which is bring the feet together. All right, here we go. Chop down for the front leg with a knee lift balance. Still doing that. Nice lunge, nice long stride back, hitting 90-degree knees in both, 90-degree angles in both knees. 8 more. 7. 6. Looking good. Lots of options here. Remember, last one. Remember, you can do the down up like this without the stepping back. Okay? Now we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to lunge first, chop, and then reach up. So it's almost as if that back knee is being pulled up by the arms. Pull it up and drop it. Pull up, down. Forgot to mention you guys can play any music you like at your place. You're muted, so I can't hear you, and hopefully you can hear me clearly. Give me 4 more. 3, 2, 1. We haven't done any high impact moves yet, right? We haven't jumped or anything. Feel your heart rate getting up there. Okay? So high impact does not always mean high impact is not related to high intensity. Or I should say, getting your heart rate up high intensity is not always related to impact jumping. You can very much get your heart rate up without ever leaving the ground. Hair everywhere. Okay, we're gonna do those 1.5 push-ups again. I'm gonna try this one on my toes. I'm gonna try like half of it on my toes and the other 8 on my knees. All right, challenge yourself. It's not like you have to commit to your toes just because you start on it, right? Both. There's one. Give me 8 more. 4 more. Last 2. Oh, you can do it. Nice. All right, come on to your back side. A little bit of abdominals before we get back on our feet here. Okay. When we're in a plank, our body's supposed to be in a neutral position here, right? Right now, we're going to continue to focus on that neutrality. So head, neck, spine will stay on the ground. Now, if you start to feel, imprint that lower back. If you start to feel any pain in the lower back or strain, you want to keep at least one leg on the ground. We'll keep the knees bent. I'm going to slowly start to lift the legs higher and higher, straighter and straighter. All right, so here you should feel some work. Good. So I'm going to start to reach higher. My feet aren't making it all the way to the ground, which sort of feels a little easier when you start moving toward your head. But then I'm going to start straightening the legs. Yep, press into the floor. And I'm going to start increasing the range of motion. And you want to try to do all this by keeping your neck relaxed, spine from top of the head to your tailbone imprinted on the ground. Yeah, work, work, work. And then final component is we are going to crunch a little bit. Let's hold our legs still. You can hold it here or here. We're going to crunch. 16. Option to have your knees bent, option to have your knees on the floor. I mean your feet on the floor. Maybe 8 more. Get those shoulder blades off the ground. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're going to come to our hands and knees. All right. And we're going to come off our knees here. And if we straighten the legs like this, kind of going into a downward dog, you're going from sort of a squat position to a leg straightening position. So you're working the quads. Lots of shoulder and arm strength. I'm going to take a leg away. Which leg should it be? I'll just take my front leg away. Down, up, down, up. I can try to keep this leg up the whole time, but it's a little hard. What I really do is I just let the top leg do what it wants to do, but not touch the ground. The bottom leg is the focus here. Sit your butt back and bend into the knees. Your heel will come off the floor. It's a nice little calf stretch. We should be feeling a lot in the quads. You're basically doing a single leg lunge. And you're strong through the shoulder. Feel those triceps. Keep those arms straight. Last 2. Switch legs. All right, this isn't about the down dog. This is about bending and straightening. Bending and straightening. If you can look at your knees, hopefully your knees and toes are staying in line with each other. Right? You don't want your knees to buckle in. Eight more. It's like doing single leg squats, but without having to worry about the balance. Last 2. Good. So hopefully you felt that in your legs. Coming back on the ground. Do some ab work here. So this time we're going to do our scissors. When you do scissors, this is scissors. When you do scissors, you can always put a leg on the ground and switch it like this. All right, so there's lots of options. Really figure out what works your abs without stressing out your lower back. We're going to add the crunch. Look at this. Crunch, crunch. So I back down a little bit while my legs are switching, and I crunch up as I'm bringing one knee in. So the bent version is, okay? All right, let's do 8. Let me start 16. Eight more. 8, 7. I'm counting each crunch. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, back onto the hands and knees. I'm going to single leg squat again, but if you would like to add a little hop, feel free to take that option. You don't need to do the hop. So this is our second set. I'm going to start with my other leg. I'm not going to favor always starting with the same leg. Now, when I add a little hop, it's like doing a squat jump. When you bend the knee, you straighten the leg with a little bit more explosiveness. And actually, my top leg kind of helps, like I'm going to kick into a handstand. Don't kick into a handstand, though. But it's as if I'm going to kick into a handstand. So I bring my top leg, kick it up to the ceiling, and it helps me get a little bit of a lift. I'm almost going to handstand, but not quite. Good. Look, stare at the ground right between your thumbs for 8 more. You should be feeling the burnout of the bottom leg, the leg is on the floor. 2, 1. All right. Hopefully you're not getting too much blood rush into your head. So just stand up for a moment, take a breath. We're going to do that with the other side. And here we go. So anything I'm doing, if you don't want to do it, you can do squats, lunges, there's always options. A lot of shoulder stability here, right? More than you think. Maybe 8 more. 2, 1. All right, we're gonna do some tricep dips. Okay, check out those wrists. Option for triceps. When you do triceps, it's all about bending the elbows and straightening them. So you can fix your fingers, direct your fingers toward your butt. It's about shoulder distance, bend, and straighten. If that's a challenge, great, that's what we want. If that doesn't feel like quite a challenge for you, then you want to get your butt off the ground. Same thing, bend, extend, bend, extend. I'm not moving my butt up and down. I'm bending my elbows, straightening it. Bending, straightening. It's okay if your butt hits the ground, but just make sure your butt's hitting the ground because you bent your elbows, not because you just moved your butt to the ground. There's also kind of a nice shoulder stretch. Lift that chest. Nice shoulder stretch there, chest stretch. 8 more. Triceps are one of the weaker parts of our arms and our upper body. Smaller too. Last 2. And 1. Okay. Getting on our feet. How are we doing? Remember, you can get water at any time? Okay. So we're going to do another balance, single leg sort of focus thing. So squats. And then, squats, and then reach out, return, and down. So you have to be balanced and ready with this stabilizing leg to reach out. I'm trying really hard not to straighten it. Return, redistribute the weight, and stand. So this is your normal squat. It's not too challenging, hopefully. Here's where the challenge is. Back in and up. Same side, same side. I think this is our 4th one. So what I really want to train you guys to do is, like, when we do a single leg squat, sometimes we do something totally different because it's like, oh, we're doing a single leg squat. But a single leg squat should mostly look like a double leg squat. So keep it there, return, and stand. All right. Knees tracking in line with the toes here. So this is our 8th one. Let's go into the other side. Whew. Same position, drop down. Hold this other leg still. Reach it out. Good. I have a pretty narrow squat there. It's okay if you shift a little bit. It's okay if you even stand up a little bit. But the goal is that we're really trying to maintain the same leg position when we squat. I'm just going to show you from the side here. So here's my squat. Look at my knee angle. And hopefully it won't change as I extend the leg out. Yeah, good. Gotta hold me accountable. Gotta hold each other accountable. Take your time with this one. Take your time. Got the balance, got the coordination. Give me 2 more. This is on the 2nd leg now. And then last one. Okay, we're going to do triceps again. So our 2nd set, 2 sets of everything. If you don't really like this position, you can do tricep push-ups, right? And you can also do regular chest push-ups. Regular chest push-ups also have a tricep component too. So find out what works for you. I'm going to do this again. Bend those elbows. Try to keep the chest up as much as possible. It doesn't need to be a deep bend. It's all about the straightening. Bend it so you can straighten it again. And that's where you feel the tricep. If you still don't feel the tricep, what you can do is pulse it. So you don't allow yourself to straighten all the way, pulse it right here. So partial bend and not full straightening. And I guarantee you will feel it, right? Sometimes just limiting the range of motion, keeping time under tension and not fully straightening it, which is where your break is, that can help overload the tricep muscle. So just to be clear, when you fully straighten the tricep, you are contracting the tricep muscle, but an arm straight position also is a rest position because you can hold it for a lot longer. This is really hard to hold, right? I think we've done it 60 as a lecture and talk about a million things. Whew. We only got 5 minutes left. We're going to do 8 on each side of this, okay? And then we'll stretch. So here's a little challenge. Squats. I don't remember which leg went out first. I'm just going to do this leg. Here, lift, lower, in. Stand if you need. If you don't need to stand, let's stay down. Lift, lower, up, oh, sorry. Out, lift, out, down. Down, up, down, in. Let me say that right way. Take a break if you need. Okay? Be okay? Just a variation of what we did in the first round. Last 2. Last 1. Overloading the leg. Notice when we stand up for squats, right? That is contracting the muscle, but standing is also sort of a break. You can stand for a very long time. Let's do the other side. Down, up, down, in, or out, up, down, in. You can redistribute. I did shift a little bit for balance, but hopefully if I'm here, my knee angle stays the same, right? That's the trick. It's the side view here. That you want the knee angle staying the same. Last 2, last 2. If your leg is really burning out, stand up. Finish this last one. Okay, whew. We've been waiting for this and we really want to stretch it. So getting into those quads. So that is today's version of body weight strength. I don't always remember what I do from class to class. So hopefully I'm doing something that's a little different. Some variations of what you've typically seen, but also at the same time, you don't want to see everything different, right? Because then you're like constantly processing information. You want to just do some stuff you are familiar with, like lunges, so that you can really hone in on mastering those moves. So you always want to see a little bit of everything, a little bit of new stuff, a little bit of reminder of old stuff. Gotta stretch those triceps. Good, and take your water breaks. And let's actually dive down, all the way down into our hamstring stretch, forward fold. Let the head be nice and heavy. Reach those arms towards the floor. To feel the stretch in your hamstrings. Good, open up that chest. For a deeper stretch, you can grab your hands in the back and lift those hands away from your butt. And if you need or feel like anything else is kind of tight and you loosen back up from the exercises, you just go ahead and do that. Release that lower back. So it's good to start with dynamic movements. I usually end with static stretches, but it's kind of hard to just statically stretch something that is like, you know, like your shoulder, you're like, I'm not quite sure where I need my shoulder, so best to take it in that full range of motion. All right, and let's stretch our abs. That's it. That's the one thing I wanted to stretch that I hadn't done yet. So when we do our abs, it's like you're separating your rib cage from your head. So there's an arch. And that's lengthening the front of your body. Because if you recall, every time we do abs, we're crunching forward or crunching up against gravity. And so that is the shortening of the muscle. Re-lengthen the muscle by doing the opposite movement. Okay. How did we do? Thanks for joining, guys.